The silence of retirement was a luxury Jack couldn't afford. For a man who had spent his life dancing on the edge of a razor, the quiet was deafening, but the ticking clock of his daughter Lily's life was louder. A rare disease was stealing her from him, and the only thing standing between her and a life-saving surgery was a mountain of cash he no longer had. The ghosts of his past whispered a familiar, dangerous solution. One last job, he called the old crew. Leo, the safecracker, whose fingers were said to have a conversation with tumblers. Maria, the getaway driver who could make a city block feel like an open highway. They were retired, settled, but the loyalty forged in fire and fear ran deep. They agreed. The target, the downtown Federal Reserve, a fortress of steel and secrets. The plan had to be perfect, a symphony of precision and nerve. Jack spent weeks poring over blueprints, guard schedules, and alarm schematics. Every detail was a brushstroke on his masterpiece of a final heist. The plan was flawless, but the world had a cruel sense of irony. During a tense family dinner, Lily, her face pale but her eyes bright with love, announced her engagement. Her fiancé was a kind, ambitious young man named Alex. He was a bank manager. At the downtown Federal Reserve, Jack's world tilted on its axis. The man whose future he was about to shatter was the same man who held his daughter's. The ethical dilemma was a physical weight, pressing down on his chest. To save his daughter, he had to destroy the life of the man she loved. Every glance at Lily's hopeful face was a fresh twist of the knife. The day of the heist arrived, cloaked in a tense, gray dawn. The air in the van was thick with unspoken fears. As they moved into position, the familiar adrenaline surged through Jack's veins, a feeling he both craved and loathed. Inside the bank, everything was a blur of controlled chaos. They were ghosts, moving through the space with practiced efficiency. Jack, his face hidden behind a stark, featureless mask, directed his crew with hand signals. Then came the moment. As per the bank's emergency protocol, the manager was required to make direct eye contact with the central security camera, silent signal to law enforcement that he was under duress and to provide a clear shot for facial recognition of the assailants. Alex, his face a mask of professional calm despite the terror in his eyes, lifted his head. He stared directly into the lens, and through the dark glass, his gaze locked onto the masked leader. There was a flicker of recognition, a dawning horror that transcended the chaos of the robbery. In that single, heart-stopping second, Alex saw not a monster, but the face of his future father-in-law. Jack saw not a victim, but the man who held his daughter's heart. The world stopped. The robbery succeeded. The vault was open. The bags were full. They vanished as quickly as they had appeared, melting back into the city's arteries. Back at the dusty, forgotten warehouse that served as their hideout, the crew was silent, the weight of their success heavy in the air. The money was there, enough to save Lily 10 times over, but the cost was immeasurable. As Jack stared at the duffel bags, his phone buzzed. He saw Lily's name and his heart seized. He answered, his voice a dry whisper. "Lily?" Her voice came through, choked with sobs. "Dad," she cried. "Something terrible has happened at Alex's bank. Double quotes to be continued. Like, share, and subscribe to find out what happens next.